What's up guys, Master Colin here with this week's Taekwondo video. This week I'm doing test evaluations. So in honor of that, I wanted to go over all of our board breaking techniques, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start at white belt and we're gonna work our way up. I only want you focusing on the board breaking technique at your level. Don't try to go above your level just yet. So we'll start with white belt. So white belt is a very simple board breaking technique, but if you don't do it correctly, it's not going to work. So make sure you're focused. So white belt hand technique or board breaking technique is a hammer fist break. So you're going to make a tight fist and you're going to hit with the bottom of your fist. So if we're throwing a punch, it's this side where our thumb is not, okay? So you're going to slam it down just like a hammer hitting a nail, okay? So you start in your fighting stance here. You stick the hand up, step with your back foot, and then slam it straight down. The board would be about right there, slamming it straight down, driving all the way through. Most common mistake for a lot of board breaks is people just aiming for the board. Okay, wherever it is, you're just trying to hit the board. I don't want you to do that. I want you to focus on hitting what's behind the board. So if the technique is coming this direction and the board is here, we want to be aiming over here so we go through it. If you just hit it and pull back, you're not going to break the board. So for my white belts, your first time breaking the board, it's a huge problem. But when they swing this hammer fist, as soon as they feel the board, they pull back. Don't pull back. Practice swinging all the way down. Okay? So that way when you hit the board, you keep going. And that's what you want to do to be able to break it. All right. So that's white belt, hammer fist. Step and swing. Don't forget about that step. Step with your back foot and then swing down, okay? Yellow belts is almost an identical technique, but instead of a fist, you're gonna make a knife hand, but you're gonna hit with that same part of your hand. You're just gonna have your fingers straight instead of curled into a fist. So make sure you don't lead with your fingers. If you do that, you're gonna hurt yourself. So pull the fingers back, so you're hitting with this part of your hand. Again, step, swing through the board, and then back to your fighting stance. So knife hand, stick it up real high, step, swing through, okay? Next is gonna be orange belt. Now, orange belt used to have an elbow strike for their board break. But I've changed that because I wanna test the level moving up from orange belt to green belt is you're moving up from beginner level class to intermediate level class, which is a big step up in skill. So I want to make sure your skills can keep up at that higher level class. So instead of an elbow strike, we're now going to be doing side kicks for your break. So a kick break is a lot harder than a hand break most of the time because a board is not an easy target to hit, and hitting a small target with a kick requires a little more precision. So that's what we're practicing here. So side kick, in order to break the board with a side kick, you want to hit with your heel, the bottom of your foot, okay? So you chamber the side kick, you turn, and you drive it straight through the board, okay? One more time, knee up, turn, drive straight through, okay? So my orange belts, I want you to be practicing that side kick. Awesome. Now, moving on, green belt is going to be a stepping side kick or a skip side kick, okay? So you're in your fighting stance, you step behind your front foot. If my target's over here, I step behind my front foot, point my heel. So when I pick that knee up, it's already loaded in the right position. I step, drive my kick straight through the board, okay? One more time. Step, drive my kick straight through the board. Okay, so that's green belt. Now, moving on. Blue belts. Blue belts is back kick. You spend a lot of time in blue belt on your back kick because it's an important kick. So turn, look over the shoulder, keep your heel as the guiding, what we want to make contact with. So your heel is this part right here. Okay? So we want to drive that part straight through the board. Okay? So we turn, make sure you look over that shoulder, drive the kick straight through the board. Okay? Awesome. Next up, purple belt, axe kick, okay? It's similar to that hammer fist, but you're doing it with your foot, and it's gonna go up as high as you can and drop it straight down on the board. Now, a lot of you guys, when you're throwing your axe kick, bring it straight up and straight down. If you do that, the board's gonna be here. You're gonna hit it on your way up with your toes and probably hurt yourself. So we gotta make sure we go around and then down, which is how you should be doing the kick anyway. So bring your leg up and drop the heel straight through the board. Okay, again, bring it up, crash down with all of your body weight straight forward. Do not try to pull the kick back to where you started. Kick and let it land in front of you. That way your body weight's going with the leg. Okay, so that's purple belt. High purple belt, you also have to do axe kick, and we add a second break for you to do, which is a roundhouse kick. And when you're doing a roundhouse kick break, you're hitting with the top of your foot, you're in step. When you're kicking like that, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna sting pretty good. Okay, so you have to make peace with that in your head and kick that board anyway, okay? Because again, this is another milestone. So when you go from orange belt to green belt, you go from beginner to intermediate. When you go from high purple to red, you go from intermediate to advanced. So I need to make sure that you're tough enough to move up to that next level. So that's part of the roundhouse kick break being in there. So it's just a straight up roundhouse kick. The board will be diagonal here, and you're gonna turn and kick straight up through that, okay? Hitting with the top of your foot. Hit it as hard as you can on your first try. That's your best shot at it, okay? After that, it's gonna sting. Your foot's gonna hurt a little bit, so it's gonna be hard. So try to get through it in that first go. Next up, red belt, spinning hook kick. Spinning hook kick. So again, we wanna make contact with our heel. A lot of these kicks, breaking boards with your heel is the smartest idea because it's the hardest part of your foot. So hitting with this part, you're going to spin whichever leg you like, okay? Spin, pick that leg up, shoot it out, hook it across, okay? So bring it straight across the board. So the board will be vertical up and down like this. Your kick should come in and straight through. If your hook kick is going up like that, it's gonna be really hard to break the board. Or if it's coming down like that, it's gonna be hard to break the board. So your kick has to go up and then hook straight across, okay? So practice that as much as you can at home. Now, brown belts and recommended black belts. We really step our game up as far as breaking goes. You have multiple breaks and some really tough ones. So, brown belts and recommended black belts both start out pretty similar. It's a roundhouse kick break and an axe kick break. Then brown belts will go straight to a power break, and recommended black belts will do a flying side kick, which we will be covering this week in class for everybody. So I'm not going to go over that today. I just want to go over the power break, which is the one that most of the students struggle the most on. So a power chop break. You have 2 cinder blocks holding a stack of boards. So at brown belt, it will be 3 boards. At recommended black belt, it will be 4 boards. And the goal here is to break all the boards in one swing. Now we did that chop at yellow belt. It's the same chop. The difference is we won't be stepping because the stack is down low. So if the boards are here, I want to take whichever hand I'm striking with, that leg, that matching leg. So if I want to use my right hand, that leg should be in the back. If I want to use my left hand, my left leg will be in the back, okay? I like my right hand, so my right foot is in the back. My left foot is gonna go right to the outside of the cinder block or the boards, okay? So the boards are right here. My shoulders should be right over top. So the stack of boards should be right here. Let me get to this side. Stack of boards should be right here. You need that so all of your body weight is going with your hand. Big mistake a lot of students make is when they come down, their arm is outstretched like this. So it's just their hand hitting the boards that are over here. But when we come down, we should have the boards here. So you want to stand right over top of them, okay? That's why we get into this stance, so we can lunge. And this back knee is gonna help us down. So we line our hand up, we bring it straight up, and then we crash it straight down. As we come down with that swing, our back knee falls to the ground. So all of my body weight is coming straight down into the boards, okay? So I come up and down, bam, and crash all the way through. When you're doing this break, for real, keep going until you hit the mat. There will be a mat underneath of it. All the way through, okay? Again, biggest problem students have is balancing off of the stack. If you do that, it's gonna be a lot harder and it's gonna require more tries. There's no maximum number of tries. You gotta keep hitting that stack until you break it, so you might as well do it on your first try and get it out of the way, okay? So my brown belts and recommended black belts spend a lot of time practicing that technique at home. If you have something that you can hit, great. If not, don't worry about it, just practice the technique. You're gonna get a lot of practice in here this week. So that is our board breaks. Make sure you're practicing those whenever you can at home. If mom or dad have a pillow that you can hit, that's a small one, do that. Have, or maybe your brother or sister hold the pillow and you gotta hit that small target. That'll help you with your accuracy, which will make your board breaking a lot easier. But I'm sorry this video was a little bit longer than they normally have been, but we had to cover a lot of info. Make sure you brush up on your board breaks, and I'll see you in class. Have a good week.